Yes, people, welcome back to Let's Talk Premier League. We're here for Let's Talk Tactics. It's me this week, but we've got 3 games for us to get into for all of the games over the weekend. We've got United Leeds, we've got City Spurs, and we have got Arsenal versus Everton. Not many games, not many goals, admittedly. That's one thing I can be sure of. And looking at them, not an awful lot to even talk about, but please do leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel with notifications on. Big up to Chris, who is in the chat as well. Massively do appreciate it. But as I say, please do leave a like and subscribe to the video if you like the content. We have got an Arsenal preview tonight. We've got Good Evening versus the Truster Process. And then we also have Manchester United versus Roma Europa League preview tonight. So make sure you check in for that as well. But let's get straight into it. The first game that we're going to look at is Leeds versus United. What a game. What a game. Jesus. What a game. It finished 0-0. I was jumping up and down with joy looking at that game. Absolutely lovely. It's a good evening weather-wise. It's a bit cold down in Devon. It is a bit cold down in Devon, that is for sure. Well, it is in Carlisle. Yeah, we don't have quite the same weather down in Devon. I can absolutely assure you of that. It's a bit nippy, especially after I went for my run. I had to wear Under Armour today. It was an experience, I'll tell you. But the first game we'll get into is, as I say, Leeds versus United. Rose's derby. I was expecting lots of goals. And I guess what? I did not get the lots of goals that I wanted. It was pathetic, to say it politely. But as you can see, the first bit I want to point out is if that ball does go through, so obviously Shaw did get onto it, did stop the ball from going through, didn't he? If Shaw doesn't do that, right, do you know how difficult it's going to be to try and stop that goal? The amount of space, you guys know me, I'm fickle for this space. I do not like giving players that additional breathing room. Who the hell has got him? Right? You've got 5 United players trying to work out how to stop 3 Leeds players. That for me is barbaric. That is absolutely pathetic. And again, another United performance where defensively they do look a bit iffy. And a bit iffy to say the least here. Look at all that space. It's absolutely mad. That is absolutely bonkers. But the next bit I want to look at, Bruno Fernandes. Now, obviously he didn't do it on purpose. Didn't even look like he was trying to make an interesting pass. Just gets dispossessed. He just gets dispossessed. And where the hell are the centre-backs? Well, there's 2 of them over there. Obviously, it was from a throw-in. But don't everyone go over there. Or if not, Wan-Bissaka absolutely needs to be talking to McTominay. McTominay needs to be dropping back. As you can see, McTominay is just ahead of Wan-Bissaka on the D. Right? McTominay needs to be dropping back to provide that cover for Lindelof. Right? Because Maguire plays on the left, Lindelof on the right. So McTominay needs to be communicating. Needs to be saying, I've got this. I'm going to drop back a bit. It does leave his man alone as well. That's when you need to be talking to Fred. Absolutely pathetic communication between the United lot there. I suppose it does happen very quickly, so you can let them off for that. But that, very lucky that they did not get punished for that. The next bit I want to look at is this one, right? This is Bruno. No, that's Dan James, actually. Sorry, I lied to you. That's Dan James, right? Leeds aren't interested. You can see that straight away, right? Not one of them is interested about Dan James. Doesn't care. It's because they know that he hasn't got the quality to break him down. So why would you care about a guy you just know hasn't got the quality to be charging you down? It just doesn't make sense to do that, does it? So they've just left Dan James in acres of space, knowing that the chance of him being a threat are limited. absolutely limited. And he, as you can see there, just no one around him. No one could be bothered to get him. And I think that's tactical. I genuinely think that they're just like, yeah, is what it is. I don't care. Stan James, what's he gonna do? Which sometimes can harm you, but if we're being real, Dan James's quality against a low block is not normal, right? But also we have to be conscious of how Leeds played on Saturday or Sunday, whenever it was. They played with a low block, right? Very rarely do Leeds play with a low block. If normally it's gun ho, right? Solskjaer said in his press conference, it won't be 0-0. That I can guarantee you. But it was 0-0 because Leeds had learned from the first game. So Bielsa had learned, if I go all gun-ho at United, I'm going to concede 6 goals. Because United love it when teams step onto them, step high. Leaves plenty of space in the back for the likes of Dan James, Marcus Rashford, Mason Greenwood, even Anthony Martial to hurt you. United in a low block, again, as you can see here, doesn't work. United cannot break a low block down to save their lives. But Bruno, and the interesting about Bruno, he didn't take many risks on Sunday, right? Didn't take many risks, but guess what? He kept the ball a lot more. So in return of keeping the ball, because there's a lot of people going, Bruno loses the ball far too much. What's he doing? He's lost it again. They've been able to break on us. It's because of Bruno we've conceded this goal. But you look at when he's not taking them risks. Now he's not taking them risks. His pass accuracy has massively improved. But what's he doing? You can't break a team down because Bruno isn't taking them risks. That for me is key. That is absolutely key. The second one, the fourth one, as I said, there wasn't an awful lot to talk about in the United game. Normally you'd average about 8 to 10 slides on this, but not today, not with not at this dismal performance. This one sort of just I'm pretty sure that's a Leeds attack. I mean, if it isn't, I'm in the mud here. Yeah, that's a Leeds attack. Just look. What is Wan-Bissaka doing? Right? Why is Wan-Bissaka acting like a centre back there? It is a Leeds attack. I got confused there for a moment. What is Wan-Bissaka doing? I'll tell you why I've highlighted Wan-Bissaka in the moment. As you can see, he's playing left centre back there, right? Let's have a look at why I'm picking on Wan-Bissaka, shall we? Maybe that's why. All it takes is one good ball, needs a through, 1-on-1. None of you are getting back there. Positioning of Wan-Bissaka defensively is fucking horrific. Yes, he may be one of the best tacklers in the world, in the league. He may be great when it comes to one-on-one. His duels are brilliant. But Jesus Christ, his positioning is terrible. His positioning is absolutely awful. What's he doing? In God's name, why is he leaving that much space? It makes no sense. What he needs to be doing is allowing Lindelof or Maguire to be one-on-one with Bamford, I think, at the point, or at that time, and then go back to your man. Cover your area. Certainly don't be halfway in the middle of the pitch, sort of in no man's land, because what if a ball goes over? You got no chance of getting it. No chance in hell. So, again, another performance from Wan-Bissaka. Defensively, absolutely horrific. And people tried to tell me he had a good game. They might not have conceded, but Jesus, even I could do better than that. Positioning, man. Work on it. That's all I'm going to say on that. But United didn't really have it wasn't a good game. It wasn't a good game to watch. United well, it was a low block. It's what happens with United in any low block they face. Anytime United face a low block, they're screwed because they just can't break it down. It's either a moment of brilliance from Bruno, or they just don't do it. You look at there's so many times that they haven't broke down a low block. because they're not taking them chances, because they don't have people with that quality, with that ilk, right? But also, Ollie tactically needs to take a lot of blame, right? Dylan saying Wan-Bissaka did have a good game. However, now I do agree his positioning must improve. And the coaches need to tell him that. Yeah, of course, he had an okay game, right? He did get further forward. He was getting involved a bit more. But his positioning is what I'm going to say now. That's against Leeds, right? That's his positioning, right? If let's say that's a Man City, for example, that's 1-0. That's a goal, right? 9 out of 10 times, that's a looping ball over, goal. 1-on-1 with the keeper. Hendo might save it, but you're putting a lot more pressure on yourselves to do that. Positioning, absolutely diabolical, right? Very good defender. I do rate Wan-Bissaka. Maybe not attacking wise. He is getting better at that. I'm not going to lie. But his positioning, that leaves a lot to be desired for. That is for sure. And the coaches defensively need to work with Wan-Bissaka, right? And not in terms of one-on-one duels. You don't need to work with Wan-Bissaka on that. He's brilliant at them. But his positioning, he has got to stop marking Victor Lindelof. He's got to stop it, right? You do not need to go 2-on-1 with Patrick Bamford. You should, being Manchester United and the centre-backs that should be at Manchester United, should be able to deal with that on a one-on-one situation. Wan-Bissaka needs to be covering his areas as well. Do both. Maybe even switch over a bit, but Lindelof shouldn't need his hand holding. Shouldn't. That's the word I'm going to use. Shouldn't. He does though. He does, because he's not good enough, right? He's not good enough for Manchester United. That is for sure. But Ollie needs, as I said, Ollie needs to take a lot of blame as well, right? Substitutions, right? The minute you saw Leeds are doing a low block, why are you keeping Dan James on that pitch? It makes no sense. It's nonsensical, right? Because what is Dan James going to offer you against a low block? He's not got the technical ability to break down a low block, right? Dan James, and this is going to sound harsh, very harsh. He's a pace merchant, right? Dan James is a pace merchant. He has got no technical ability when it comes to breaking down a low block. He's not the standard of Manchester United Football Club, that's for sure. There is no other top 16 that has a Dan James, right? None of them would take a Dan James, right? Pep wouldn't, Klopp wouldn't, Tuchel wouldn't, Tottenham wouldn't. I doubt Arsenal would. Why is Dan James even at United? Right? I understood it when Ollie first came in. We'll get him in, 15 million, see what he's about. He might make it, he might not. He's a bit young. Let's see what he can do. He's not there. He's not got the technical ability. Right? That is clear. It's a pace merchant. Right? A glorified pace merchant. That's why him playing against a City or Leeds when they step onto you is absolutely perfect. But when it comes to a low block, he's absolutely dreadful at it. Absolutely dreadful. And Diallo probably needs to start playing a bit more. He looks like he's got a bit more technical ability than Dan James. In fact, it doesn't look that way. He does have more technical ability. Yeah, he may get kicked a bit. He'll probably get you a free kick though. Probably get you a free kick in a very dangerous area where Bruno and Marcus can smash it into the top corner quite easily. So Ollie, for me, I don't criticise Ollie often, but when I do, it's fair. Like his decisions on Sunday left a lot to be desired for. Changes too late. Why are you bringing on Pogba 20 minutes ago? Why not give him half an hour, 40 minutes, even at half time, right? If I'm Ollie and I'm seeing Leeds United are doing a low block to me, sorry, Dan James, I'm hooking you. Off at half time, on you go, Paul, or on you go, Cavani. I'll move Greenwood to the right, Cavani up top. Right? If they're doing a low block, I'll even take off Fred. I'll take off Fred and put on Pogba then. Right? Because you don't need double pivot if they're not going to be attacking you. You only need double pivot if you're going to be doing a lot of defensive work. Mind you, United kept giving the ball away, which meant they had to do defensive work. That's regardless of the point. The passing in this game is absolutely horrific as well. That's what I mean. The game was poor. The game was very poor, that's for sure. But none of the games were absolutely brilliant. I'm looking at the games. I'm like, what am I analysing, boys? This is fun. But Arsenal versus Everton is our next game. This one. Well done, Leno. Leno has achieved something I never thought he would achieve. Best goalkeeper in the world. Everyone agree with that? I do. It was a brilliant defensive performance from him. But the first one, and I'm going to have another rant here. Thomas Partey. I don't actually rate the guy often. I don't rate the guy too much. I'm not going to lie to you. His shooting is absolutely horrific. In God's name, why are you shooting from there? Just, where do you get this confidence that you're going to put that top bins? You don't. Now, I've drawn a line on where the most sensible pass would be. Like, whack it out to Callum Chambers. He'll chuck a cross in, and maybe someone in the middle will get onto it. Don't shoot from there. It's a pointless shot. Luckily for Partey, it doesn't even reach the box. It gets deflected, doesn't it? So it does get actually to Callum Chambers. But the other issue, why is everyone at the far bottom? Why is it options, right? You're not giving him options, right? I'm pretty sure that's Callum Chambers with the ball. He's got, what options has he got apart from put it into the box? Like, that's the only option, right? Someone come short. Someone try and pull these defenders out of position, right? This is a low block, right? Everton played a low block. It's a bit like United. Movement. Move in that box, right? Because if you move, you're dragging players out, right? You're dragging players out of position, which there means leave space for other players. It's something you can't really teach too often because movements have to be right as well. They have to be the right movement. Can't just be running around like a headless chicken and hoping for the best. Movement has to be the right movements, but move your fucking body, right? Move your legs, one in front of the other, start running. Massively helps you. But no options there at all. It was an endless cross and no one really got onto it. Dylan saying Partey is overrated. I'm not going to lie to you, mate. From what I've seen of him this season, what is there to rate? Right? He has done absolutely nothing for me to even want to rate him. Look, I like giving players chances. I do. Right? It's just a part of me. I give him a bit of a chance. It's why Werner will have until next season, right? Start of next season to make it to work better. Same with Havertz. I gave Dan James at least it's only until recently I started turning on him. At the end of the day, like, Partey has done nothing. He'll have till next season, but he's got to stop shooting. It is not an ability that he possesses. He is not Paul Scholes. He's not Frank Lampard. He is not Steven Gerrard. That ball is not going top ins. Not a chance. Not a Partey. Someone needs to let him know. So stop shooting. Pass. This one here. Now, for me, there's a couple of issues here, right? Look at the right back, right? For me, that right back needs to be where that dot is. So the right back is circled. I want him where that dot is. That's where I would ideally want him, right? Because it gives you an option to get it onto a right wing, cross in, right? This time he does a through ball to a Richarlison. It works. Don't get it wrong. It does work. It does come off, and Richarlison does get the ball. But then Richarlison makes a mistake that I just don't understand what he was thinking. Very selfish of him. He takes a shot, right? That's not the greatest angle for a shot, mate. But the guy I've circled in the middle is in quite a bit of space. Gylfi Sigurdsson, a guy who can from that area and from that distance get a shot and get a goal, right? It's part of what Gylfi does. It's what he does as a player. Richarlison doesn't do that, has a shot, goes wide. Instead, if he's passing that to Gylfi Sigurdsson, that's going in the back of the net, or it's a better opportunity, right? So Richarlison needed to work that a bit better. That's why he's at Everton, right? He's not a top striker. He's good. Don't get it twisted. He's good. He's not top class, though. Not a top class striker, that's for sure. In this instance, I'm passing to Sigurdsson. He's going to have a better chance of getting that ball past Leno. The angle's just a bit better for me. But I'm not a professional footballer. The next one I want to look at is Callum Chambers. This shot would have been absolutely perfect if he didn't hit it into the ground. He's basically misjudged the ball, hit it into the ground, and it's gone over the bar. It wasn't far off, but yeah, it wasn't the best shot. But as you can see there, if he just connects with it better, that leaves Pickford a lot of work to do. And this one, oh dear. You all know what's coming, don't you? You all know. Leno. Oh, wow. So Leno's position in there, absolutely perfect. You can't complain, right? The positioning, absolutely glorious. Like, it's exactly where I'd expect the goalkeeper. As you see here, ball goes through his legs. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was a lack of concentration. Something has allowed Leno's head to think that's a good idea. I don't think he's done it on purpose, but I mean, he's meant to be a world-class goalkeeper according to Arsenal fans. According to Arsenal fans, he's a world-class goalkeeper. Richarlison gets it through his legs somehow, and Everton win 1-0, and that's the margins of this game, right? And it's ironic that Arsenal drew to Fulham, they lose to Everton. These are games they should be winning. Arsenal, for me, are a mid-table side. I won't be hearing anything less than that. But I don't know why I'm putting Arsenal show on. That's for sure. I want this one. I think I've just taken it off there. There we go. That's better. But yeah, Arsenal massively in the shit. Arteta could apparently be being sacked. I'll be discussing that with Sauls and Luke later on in the Good Evening versus Trust the Process and the United Roma preview at 9 p.m. So make sure you tune in for that. Lanty, channeling is inner Rob Green, mate. It was horrific. I don't. Why on earth Arsenal decided they wanted to keep Bernd Leno and sell Emi Martinez? I could have told you. I could have told you last year. Emi Martinez, from what I saw of him, commands the box better. He was just a better player. For me, he's just a better player. It was poor. It was a very poor performance from him. Matt saying that's insulting to Rob Green. He's had some howlers in his lifetime as well. I remember the World Cup. I think it was it was Rob Green. Yeah, I remember that one. The last one I want to talk about is obviously Manchester City versus Spurs in the Carabao Cup final. Spurs, this was painful to do. Do you know, all three of these games were painful to do. It was absolutely horrific. The first picture, why are you letting Sterling have that much space? I know it's just Sterling. He probably skies most of these over the crossbar or hits them wide. Just don't give Sterling that much space. It's just a bit dangerous. I won't dwell on that too much. But as you can see, all of these Arsenal players, right? I've dotted them just in case you didn't know who they were. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Tottenham players within that shot, covering about a quarter of the pitch if you're lucky. I mean, I was told that Ryan Mason would bring something different. Now, I understand. But he didn't have a long time to prepare for this. Jose could have been in charge. I understand that Daniel Levy didn't want Jose in charge because Jose would then cost more if he won the Carabao Cup. But you're Tottenham. You need to win a trophy. Go win that trophy of Jose, then sack him after, whatever. But this performance, defensively as well, shocking. There's like 8 of them and none of them are getting close to Sterling. It is abysmal. This one, again, it's just more space for a Man City player. I don't know, again, why you'd want to give a City player that much space. It's not going to work. absolutely not going to work. Big up to Charles in the chat. But yeah, giving any City player that much space is going to ask for trouble, especially if you Tottenham Hotspur. But credit to Luis. He had a fairly good game. He had to have a good game, which he did in the end. The next one, as we look at this one, it's just, again, these City players. Now, I don't know if this was on purpose to give Lo Celso this much space, but I don't think it was a great idea. Obviously, the keeper, Stefan, had to get fingertips onto it. I wouldn't quite have left that much space for him. As you can see, he is getting closed down, but there are about 4 or 5 players around him. None of them making that push to close him down. Not great defending there from City. Overall, a poor game in the Carabao Cup final, that's for sure. Now, let's talk about the goal. This is what I want to talk about, right? The goal. Now, what I should do is I should show you the start, really. So this is the start. No one, absolutely no one, is picking him up. No one is saying this guy is going to be a bit dangerous. Let's pick him up. No one's thinking that, right? So, what they're thinking is they're just not picking him up, right? So this guy is going to be dangerous, but we're not going to pick him up. Why would we do that, right? Why would we pick him up? They're leaving him on his own, which is always going to be problematic. But there was so much that was wrong with this corner. Not even corner, free kick. This set piece was so badly defended, it actually hurt my head. But as you can see, he's got above Lo Celso. Can't remember his name. He's got above the player and just headers the ball in. But the one thing I noticed, why is there no one on posts? Right? As a kid, I was always taught if there's a corner or a free kick, get onto a post. Right? That is virtually from that area a corner. Right? Let's assume that that's virtually a corner. Yeah. Get someone on that post. Right? So there's absolutely no one on the post. There are 5 City players in there. Right? No, 6. Maybe 7. Maybe 8. There's a lot of City players. Get someone on them posts, and they do get caught out because they don't have anyone on the post. As you can see in this picture here, and when someone does drop back to the post, they're not on the post, right? They're about a yard off it, and a yard in football is these margins, especially in a cup final. The margins are so close, and guess what? It's because of a yard Tottenham lost the Carabao Cup final. Right? The Spurs did a Spurs and defended one time horrifically. Right? All the other times weren't great defending. Let's not get twisted. But the one time that they have that ability, that chance to really take something onto this game, and they do this. Some of the worst defender I've seen in quite a while, of a set piece as well, right? Of a set piece. Now, I don't know if you saw Monday Night Football, right? But Carragher sort of explained about how many long balls Tottenham were playing, right? They essentially, what Ryan Mason played was hoofball, right? There's no real other words to put it. Ryan Mason has played hoofball. He's decided to hoof the ball. He's decided to bypass the entire midfield and play hoofball. Because that's going to work, isn't it, boys? It's going to work very well. And I think there was, I think they played about 17% of long balls. I think it was something like that. And most teams in the relegation zone play about 18%. So there's about a percent difference. Mind you, City in the league play about 7% of long balls, which is where you'd expect them. Tottenham in the league, I think, play 11. yesterday or Sunday, they played 17% long ball. Not going to be City down like that. Do you just, unless those long balls are like United can do, or like any good counter-attacking team can do, which is be deadly, right? So unless these long balls are up and over that defence, and you're literally having someone run onto it, it's pointless. Absolutely pointless. Because all you're doing is you're losing play, right? So every time the keeper kicks it long, there's a 50-50 chance that that's not going to end up in your possession, right? Because you're relying on a player to win a header, most of which are a 50-50 chance, right? Two players going for a ball, there's a 50% chance you get the ball, right? So in terms of ball retention, you are never going to do anything if you're hoofing it long, because there's only a 50% chance of keeping it. Play it short, play it through your midfield. It's why you pick these midfielders. Now, I don't know if this is a Ryan Mason tactic of just going long, right? I don't know if that's what Ryan told him in the dressing room. It would appear that he didn't. He had Sissoko, he had Winks on the pitch, he had Højbjerg. So he did go defensive. There's no doubt about that. All of these players can play short passes. They should be able to play small, quick passes, right? You had Lo Celso, right? You had Son, Moura, Kane, right? You could have Kane dropping deeper. Absolutely nothing. It was just hoofball, absolutely hoofball, and that's for me is what led Spurs to not winning the Carabao Cup final. Right? Manchester City were not good either. Right? There's no doubt about that. Manchester City were not good. Right? They weren't. They were absolutely awful. Their chances that they had, didn't take them. Didn't take their chances. They created a lot, but didn't take them. And they only just beat Spurs. And if you're playing a better team than Spurs, because let's be real, Spurs aren't a great team at the moment. If you're playing a better team, like Chelsea, for example, in the semi-final of the FA Cup, you're going to get punished. You are 100% going to get punished. And that, for me, that's where this team at the moment is currently on its legs. Be interesting to see what they do against PSG tonight. I'll be very interested. I'll be watching a bit of that. But as I said, we have got a big Europa League preview tonight. We weren't going to miss this opportunity, were we? We were not going to miss the opportunity of Good Evening versus Trust the Process and Manchester United versus Roma. Big games for both English clubs. Who will win? Right? Who will win the first leg? Obviously, Arsenal going off to Villarreal and Manchester United at Old Trafford. It's imperative that United keep a clean sheet. Very much so. But everyone hyping up Roma, they're good. They're not that good, right? United knocked out not Munich. Jesus, that would be a shock, wouldn't it? If United knocked out Munich, wrong competition. Knocked out Milan. So knocked out AC Milan. They should be able to beat Roma, right? Without a shadow of a doubt. I think Roma are languishing something in 7th in Serie A. Right? Milan, I think, are in the top 4, right? So Milan are a better team than Roma. United should go through, right? United should go through to the final, but semi-final, isn't it? Ollie don't have a good record with semis, but again, context. But we'll get into all of that. Context needed. He's played City in 2 of them or 3 of them. No, he's played City in 3 of them, Chelsea and Sevilla. It's a bit hard, days, bit brutal, but. Yeah, 5 semi-finals, not made it to the final yet, is this United year. And don't forget, Mikel Arteta coming up against the man he replaced. Who's going to win that one? I know who I want to win. These Arsenal fans, if they lose, that is going to be mind-blowing. If Arsenal lose, get those buckets ready. Just get those buckets ready. But apparently, Arteta could get sacked. Apparently, he's under pressure. Exactly not what you want before a huge semi-final against Villarreal. Man that you replaced. Gotta love the PR there. Maybe they're doing the Ollie thing is, Arteta's going to get sacked. We'll play really well for the next few games. Save him. I don't know if them players want him. I don't know if them players want to save him. That's for sure. But we're going to wrap it up there. As I said, I would have done all of the games, but other reasons dictating that next time I'll plan it all myself. But a big thanks to everyone that has been watching. Massively, massively appreciate it. Please leave a like and subscribe to the channel with notifications on. It does massively help us out. Go follow our socials. Our Twitter is at Let's Talk EPL and at No Context LTPL. Our Instagram is Let's Talk Premier League _. Our TikTok is Let's Talk Premier League. Also, if you want to join our Discord server, it is going to be getting bigger and bigger and bigger, hopefully. I'm going to be a lot more busier in there, putting transfer rumours in there, schedules for when we're going live, all that sort of good stuff. So make sure you get in there as well. Make sure you chat between yourselves as well. Massively does help there. But if you are new, as I say, please do leave a subscribe. And we'll be back at 9 p.m. for the Arsenal and United Europa League preview. I'm so excited. And if both of them get to a final, there's going to be about 20 previews and 40 match reactions. Milking it. Absolutely milking it. That is for sure. But thanks for watching. Until then...